Nevin Carr, who's in charge of the U.S. Navy's Office of Naval Research. And he's in Prague right now looking into the possibility of perhaps expanding to this area, which we can talk about in a minute. But first, why don't you tell us a little bit about what ONR is and what it does?
ONR is the Office of Naval Research. We're responsible for exploring the world of science and technology and trying to find the right technologies that might transition into something that's useful for the Navy and Marine Corps. In many cases, we find technologies that are of dual use. So it's not just about better warfighting, although improving our military forces and their advantage is really what we're all about.
Mm-hmm. And what are some examples of collaborative projects that have come up with dual uses on the civilian world and other aspects?
As you might expect, we're very interested in acoustics and sonar, and we had a project recently that was geared toward locating things with acoustics, and it turned out that this was also well suited to discovering certain kinds of cancers, specifically breast cancer. So it led to some enhanced techniques for early detection of breast cancer.
That's fascinating. And now you're looking at the Czech Republic, as you mentioned, and sort of what do you have in mind if you decide to open an office here?
Well, we have several ONR offices at various places around the world. And the Czech Republic, of course, is well known as a center of intellectual and technological progress, and so it's a likely place for engagement in Europe. There are some very high-quality institutions here that we want to engage with directly, but it's an ideal location within Europe, being right near the center of Europe, to engage the region as well.
Sure, there are a lot of geographic pluses. Mm-hmm. And then for Czech researchers and institutions, what are some of the specific benefits that they may realize?
Well, whenever we cooperate, we expand our opportunities to discover and learn things that we might not have been able to do on our own. The new Navy's maritime strategy in particular is all about partnership building, and it's sort of a metaphor for doing exactly what I just said. But we're about science and technology primarily. Mm-hmm. So it would be scientist to scientist interested in the technology. Where can we find common ground? What can we share? Where can we take advantage of each other's research? We would be providing some funding for some of that research here locally, as we have been doing, by the way, for many years.
I was going to mention that. I believe that one of the reasons that you've landed here is because you have some experience with the Czech Republic. For the past decade or so, you've had quite a few collaborative projects, have you not?
We have, and in fact, I'll be meeting with them tomorrow to discuss some of that. And one of those areas that's particularly interesting is in the area of autonomous vehicles and helping, as things that fly and swim become more autonomous, they're going to need to be able to function on their own without direct human intervention. As the skies particularly get more crowded and we have more distributed autonomous systems. There's some very cutting-edge research going on right here in Prague that's going to be very important for that.
Well, that's fantastic. We wish you luck as you embark perhaps on looking at an office here.
It's great to be here. Thanks, John.
Mm-hmm.